Hey everybody, I'm Jiles and this is JDM World. In this 5th episode of Jiles Journey, we're going to talk about my favorite thing. That's right, speakers. And in particular, we're going to talk about the Starke Sound IC-H5. Now these are the speakers that we're installing in my home theater. And let me tell you what, I cheated a little bit and snuck ahead and listened to them. And they're really good. You're gonna find out in the next video exactly how good they are. We'll do all the measurements and some comparative listening and that kind of thing. But in this video, we're gonna focus on the speakers themselves. So we're gonna look at the different components, we're gonna talk about those, we're gonna talk about the connectivity on the back, and all the cool gadgets that are included with these guys. There's some pretty slick switches back there that you might not see on every speaker. But first, we're gonna just take a look at this and let you see the majesty that is the IC-H5. Now that we've seen what's inside of the box, let's take a look at the boxes. And these are quite the boxes. I mean, the packing material for these speakers is awesome. So you've got metal edged plywood. And remember, these are demo speakers, meaning that they've been used at shows before and they've been sent to other reviewers. So these boxes have some miles on them and all this stuff's been packed and repacked several times. But I think the condition that the boxes has arrived in is really a testament to the resilience of the packing material. Now, inside of the wooden box is a cardboard box. And inside of that cardboard box is foam packing material, and inside of that foam packing material is the speaker itself, and the speaker is sheathed in a very silky, nice cloth bag. You know, I feel like I could craft a Elizabethan gown with that after the speaker is unpacked. So that just kind of slides off, and you know, it serves to protect the speaker in transit. Now that we've got the speaker out, we get to take a look at that mystery box from before. So I didn't know what was going to be in here, but it ends up, this is actually the feet for the speaker. So you've got 2 long black bars. These bolt to the bottom of the cabinet, and then there are 4 feet that will screw into those bars, and you can use that to level. Now, we'll look at this a little bit closer later, but I didn't really use the leveling feet because I just like the way this sits on my carpet. Let's talk a little bit about the physical dimensions of this box. So this is not a small speaker. So this is about 48 by 10 by 16 from a dimensions point of view, and it's about 121 pounds. So it's quite a hefty load, and I would suggest a couple of people to move this thing around and get it in place. Now, from a speaker complement, we're running really 4 different drivers in this box. So you've got 4-inch mid-range with the golden phase plug, as they call it. And if you look closely, you'll see that the speaker actually moves around the phase plug. So the phase plug is stationary and the speaker moves back and forth around that. And then the next speaker down is the 1-inch beryllium tweeter. So this is, for me, really the showpiece of this whole speaker. This tweeter sounds amazing, and you know, it brings to mind other high-end systems like Focal and their Utopia series. I mean, it's really nice. And then moving down, we get to the 8-inch drivers.
So your bass response is going to be handled by these three guys, along with a 12-inch passive radiator here on the side. All of the speakers use a technology called a linear magnetic field, or LMF. This is patented by Starke Sound, and its goal is to reduce distortion in the speakers due to changes in the magnetic field of the magnet on all of these different drivers. Now let's swing around and take a look at the back. On the rear of the speaker, you find two adjustment switches that you only find on higher end equipment. First is a treble adjustment. You have three different settings, a -2 dB, a neutral, and a +2 dB. So this is for placement behind a AT screen, so you'll give it a little bit of a treble boost. Or if you are listening to two-channel music, you'll put it into the -2 dB setting to make it sound more natural. In your normal home theater environment where you just have this freestanding, not behind a screen, you put it in the neutral or 0 dB change. The other switch is your bass adjustment, and this is really for boundary effects. So if this speaker is pushed up against a wall, it's going to sound slightly different than if it's pulled 3 or 4 feet out from the wall. My recommendation is when you install these in your home to play with this and see which sounds better to you, right? The idea is that this will help adjust for that bass sound change when it's close to a large surface. Now, these speakers can also be bi-amped if you want to. I've never been a big believer in bi-amping, but a lot of folks buying at this particular price point are interested in that kind of technology. So you can pull these jumpers out if you want and power the bass and treble with separate amplification.
Now that we've talked about the details of the speakers, let's just talk once again about why I'm installing these in the theater here, so you can kind of get into my head. So if you remember, I was rolling a Definitive Technology speaker set before, and I was really unhappy with the bipolar mechanics of those speakers, right? So they had drivers on the backside and they were firing it to the wall, and the soundstage would get muddy, and it was okay for home theater, but when you did two-channel, it wasn't really all that good. Well, these speakers address that problem in particular. Also, I didn't like the idea of having these massive subwoofers in the towers that were designed to carry all of the bass response for LFE environment for home theater. So these, while they have really good extension, and I think they're claimed down to 28, and we'll find out for sure in the next video when I measure the actual bass extension on these guys. But the idea is that in a home theater, you'll have dedicated subwoofers that will handle that LFE sound. Now, for two-channel music, we're going to listen to these both with and without a subwoofer. And my expectation is, just for my personal taste, that I'll prefer this with subwoofer support. But there are a lot of what I would call audiophile purists that don't want to introduce DSP into their environment, and that means that they're not really looking for crossovers and subwoofers and that kind of thing. They just want what's built into the box, and if you've got speakers capable of playing low with the built-in passive crossovers, that's what they're interested in. They just want everything inside of the unit. And these, with 3 8s and a passive radiating 12, can go low and should satisfy everyone's needs from that point of view. So again, that's a philosophy of Starke Sound. They want their equipment, especially at the high end, to be able to do well in two-channel and in multi-channel. So to recap, getting rid of the bipolar and getting rid of the powered subs that are designed for LFE inside of these towers, and then allowing the other components of our system to really carry the load that they're designed to carry. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If so, please click the like button below and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you in episode 6.